विद्या प्रशस्यते लोकैः विद्या सर्वत्र गौरवा विद्यया लभते सर्वं विद्वान् सर्वत्र पूज्यते. To begin with, I would like to extend my gratitude first of all to Charutar Vidya Mandal, Engineer Bhikhubhai Patel sir, Chairman of the CVM, Honorable Secretary Dr. S.G. Patel sir, and Honorable Joint Secretary R.C. Talati sir, who are busy in other schedule, but their blessings are with us always. Now I heartily welcome the President of the inaugural function, Dr. Rajendrasinh Jadeja sir, Dr. Nicholas Burns, School of Professional Studies, New York University, USA. He would be joining online. Then guest of honor, Joint CEO of Scope, Ms. Manasi Saraswat ma'am. The keynote speaker of the conference, Professor Paresh Joshi sir, Dr. Mayur sir, in charge principal of HMPITR, Dr. Arjun Dave, CS Rajbhai Soni, Professor Kamal Mehta sir, Professor Atanu Bhattacharya sir, Dr. Parul Popat ma'am, Dr. Sunil Shah sir, Dr. Anil Varsat, Dr. Bhashkar Pandya sir, Dr. Shailendra Pandey, and Mr. Arindam Banerjee, and respected dignitaries and learned delegates of the days, invited guests, conference participants, the alumni friends, faculty members, admin team, as well as my dear students. I am Dr. Rajnikant Dodia, feel privileged to extend my warm welcome on behalf of the Institute, as well as International Association of Academicians and Researchers, IAAR, Rajkot, on this international conference on Socio-cultural dimensions of English studies, which is jointly organized by IAAR Rajkot and H.M. Patel Institute of English, Pallavidyanagar. A very good morning to all once again. Let me brief about the organizers of the conference. Two main organizers of the event are IAAR and HMPITR. IAAR, being a wing of Vedant Foundation Rajkot, is dedicated to teachers' development, multidisciplinary research, academia, industry collaborations, publications, and building research community. It acts as a bridge to connect researchers and take their respective research work globally. Now, H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research, as we all know, is a pioneer institution in English language teaching from last 6 decades in Gujarat, India. It has been endeavoring to provide value-added, globally relevant teacher education with an emphasis on the techno-management domain and cope with new challenges in the global context. In organizing this important conference, the knowledge partners we have GTU, Gujarat Technological University, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University, Sardar Patel University, Kranti Guru Shyamji Krishna Verma Kutch University, City University, Avantika University, University of Technology and Science, Meghalaya, Rai University, Usha Martin University, and Indian Institute of Management and Commerce. The Institute extends its heartfelt gratitude to you all and welcome at this juncture. Dear all, this conference is shaped in a way to attract your interest, so we trust that this event will be highly successful. Looking at the participation, we are of course very pleased to share with you that we have got around 50% participation from different 30 countries around the globe. We have put a lot of passion in shaping this conference that would hopefully get us closer in this vast field of English language teaching as well as education. Now, to begin with this memorable function, I would like to request Dr. Parinda Dalwadi to come on the stage for the invocation.
Prano Devi Saraswati Vajerpi Vajini Mati Tinam Vitrayavatu Chodayitri Sunutanam Chetanti Sumatinam Yagnam Dade Saraswati Mahoarna Saraswati Prachayati Ketunam Diyo Visva Virajati Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrutyurma Mrutam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Now I am pleased to invite Principal of the Institute, Dr. Mayur sir, to address the gathering with his welcome address and introduction of the guests.
Good morning to all. Respected Dr. R.P. Jadeja sir, President of today's function. Respected Ms. Manasi Saraswat madam, Joint CEO, Scope, and the guest of honor of today's function. Professor Paresh Joshi sir, Professor Veer Narmad, South Gujarat University Surat, and the keynote speaker, Dr. Arjun Dave, Conference Chair, C.S. Soni, Patron of the Conference, Dr. Paresh Jotangia, Executive Director of Vedant Knowledge Systems, Rajkot, Dr. Manas Thakur, Conference Convener, all the panelists of the panel discussion, Dr. Kamal Mehta sir, Professor Atanu Bhattacharya sir, Professor Sunil Shah, Mr. Arindam Banerjee, the moderator of the panel discussion, Dr. Parul Popat madam, all the session chairs of online as well as offline sessions of paper presentations, both online and offline mode participants, my colleagues, students, volunteers, technical staff, admin staff, and all the invited esteemed guests. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all of you to this international conference on Socio-cultural dimensions of English studies, jointly organized by IAAR, Vedant, and H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research. The guests on the days, well, they do not require any sort of formal introduction. However, considering the protocol, I would take this opportunity and I feel I would be really honored to introduce these illustrious figures on the days. To begin with, Dr. R.P. Jadeja sir, former director of this institute and presently the director of H.M. Patel Career Development Center, Vallabh Vidyanagar. He holds a couple of masters, MA from Sardar Patel University and MA in TESOL from Edinburgh, UK, and of course a PhD from Sardar Patel University. Jadeja sir has held various positions, including the member Sardar Patel University Syndicate, Dean Faculty of Arts, Chairman Board of Studies, Subject Advisor in the Textbook Board Gujarat and NCERT New Delhi. Jadeja sir has to his credit creative writing in Gujarati, including poems, short stories, and literary criticism, translations from English to Gujarati and vice versa, and of course editing of many anthologies. Sir has contributed to a number of research projects, both as part of PhD studies as well as institutional projects. Jadeja sir is regarded as the person who led the turnaround of English in Gujarat, because when he took over as the director of this institute, English was taught only for 2 years at high school level, and when he retired, it came to be taught from class 5 to class 12. Sir, we are very happy. We welcome you to this function, sir. We have with us Ms. Manasi Saraswat madam, Joint CEO of Society for Creation of Opportunities through Proficiency in English, popularly known as SCOPE, as the guest of honor today. Manasi madam was appointed as the Joint CEO of SCOPE in 2018, and with her dedication, SCOPE has reached newer heights every year. It is an honor for SCOPE to be awarded the Gold Award at Scotch under the esteemed leadership of Manasi madam. Spoken English courses have been her initiatives, keeping in mind the housewives, senior citizens, professionals, and common people at large. Her end goal dwells to take SCOPE in every nook and corner, not only at the state level, but also at national level as well. Madam, we feel extremely happy and we welcome you to this conference. Professor Paresh Joshi, Department of English, Veer Narmad, South Gujarat University, Surat, has kindly agreed to grace this occasion as the keynote speaker of this conference. Joshi sir has a rich experience of nearly a couple of decades. His areas of specialization are English literature, applied linguistics, phonetics, English language teaching, folk literature, and soft skills. He is a recognized PhD guide with Veer Narmad South Gujarat University. 7 students have completed their PhD and 4 students are still pursuing their PhD under his able guidance. He is an assessor with National Assessment and Accreditation Council (NAC) and has performed quality audits as a peer team member at various colleges in India. With time, he has established himself as a trainer, life coach, and speaker of national repute. To add to this, he has written 11 books and has published more than 20 research papers in national and international research journals with an impact factor of more than 3.00. This apart, he is also a recognized voice-over professional and has done commercials and documentaries as well. Sir, we are indeed very grateful to you for accepting our invitation, and we are eagerly looking forward to listening to you in your keynote address. Dr. Arjun Dave, conference chair of today's conference, is the director of Vedant Knowledge System Private Limited, Rajkot, an international alliance of academicians and researchers, Rajkot. He holds a master's and a PhD in English. He is also a member Board of Studies at Atanu University and academic advisor at Goenka University. Dr. Dave takes initiatives not only in academic ventures but also in the areas of social services using the platform of Vedant NGO. Sir, we are honored to have you today. The Institute extends a warm welcome to you. C.S. Raj Soni, patron of this conference, is also the director of Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited, Rajkot, and the vice president of Vedant Foundation. He has topped company secretary exams in Saurashtra region in 2014. His expertise includes indexing and ranking services. He has authored a motivational book also entitled Failure, Another Chance for Success. He is dedicatedly contributing to research, academia, and social services. We feel really privileged to have you today at this academic juncture. Welcome, sir. Dr. Paresh, Executive Director of Vedant Knowledge System, is also there with us today. To his credit, there are 5 books published and several research papers, both at national and international levels. Dr. Jotangia is quite fond of research. He is a research lover and is there almost in all the events that promote research at various levels. Sir, we welcome you. Due to the pre-scheduled commitments, Engineer Bhikhubai Patel Sahib, Chairman Charutar Vidya Mandal, Dr. S.G. Patel Sahib, Honorary Secretary Charutar Vidya Mandal, and Dr. R.C. Talati Sir, Honorary Joint Secretary of Charutar Vidya Mandal, have not been able to remain present today, but I am quite sure that their blessings and best wishes are always there with us with this institute. I take this opportunity to thank them for giving us a green signal and for organizing this particular event. Considering the time constraint, I may not be able to take each individual's name and welcome, but yes, on behalf of H.M. Patel Institute, IAAR, and Vedant Foundation, I welcome all the dignitaries, research scholars, and the entire research fraternity, both in offline as well as online mode. Once again, a very warm welcome to one and all present here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. After this verbal welcome, it's a great honor for the Institute to felicitate the guests. So first of all, I would like to request the Principal of the Institute, Dr. Mayur sir, to present a memento to President of the Inaugural Function, Dr. R.P. Jadeja, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Arjun Dave, sir, to present a memento to Miss Manasi Saraswat, Madam, Joint CEO Scope. I request C.S. Rajbhai Soni to present memento to Professor Paresh Joshi, sir. I request Dr. Paresh Jotangia sir to present a memento to the principal of the institute, Dr. Mayur Parmar sir. I would like to request Dr. Manas Thakur sir, conference convener, to present the memento to Dr. Arjun Dave sir. I would like to request Ms. Megha Patel, faculty of the institute, to present the memento to CS Rajbai Soni. I would like to request Dr. Shamal Mewada sir to present the memento to Professor Kamal Mehta sir. I request Dr. Rohit Bhattacharya sir to present memento to Professor Atanu Bhattacharya sir. I request Dr. Apurva Joshi to present a memento to Dr. Sunil Shah sir. Now, I would like to present a memento to Mr. Arindam Banerjee. Now, I would like to request Dr. Arjun Dave sir to present a memento to Dr. Anil Varsat sir. I request Dr. Paresh Jotangia sir to present a memento to Dr. Bhashkar Pandya sir. Now, we look forward to know how the idea of the international conference on socio-cultural dimensions of English studies emerged. For that, I would like to call upon the convener of the conference, Dr. Manas Thakur sir, to throw upon some light on the purpose of the conference.
शारदा शारदां भोजवदना वदनां भुजे सर्वदा सर्वदा अस्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात्. All the gurus and dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, my colleagues, students, invited guests, and all the delegates. I have been told to throw some light on the purpose of the conference, but before that, I would like to throw some light on the organizers. Because you are sitting, however, all of you, I'm sure that all of you must be knowing about H.M. Patel Institute. So I wouldn't talk much about H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research, because I can see a very few faces are there who have not been here in this campus. But I would surely like to throw some light on the introduction of IAAR. You can see in the banner that this conference, Socio-cultural Dimensions on English Studies, is organized in collaboration with IAAR. And the full name of this IAAR is International Alliance of Academicians and Researchers. It is run by Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited, and it is a professional research forum for academicians and researchers offering academics, research, and self-development support in terms of research guidance, funding, guidance and publication support in multidisciplinary domains. IAAR serves as an ecosystem to strengthen academia and research through various research events, courses, publications, programs. It will play as a bridge to connect researchers and take their respective research work globally. It has 12 higher education institutions as a knowledge partners and more than 500 members at present. IAAR is tirelessly looking forward to have more than 1,000 universities as knowledge partners, more than 1 lakh individual members from across the globe. The present conference is an example of such an event. So we are thankful, Mr. Arjun, that he has been with us for a long time and he has helped us a lot. Now, talking about the conference, let me tell you that the very idea of this theme, it emerged from the Dr. H.M. Patel Memorial Lecture 2022, which was delivered by Professor R.P. Jadeja sir on 27th of August 2022. He spoke on socio-cultural dimensions of English studies in India. And his ideas were so thought-provoking that we decided to keep the same theme, the same subject, as a theme of the next conference that we are going to organize. And this is the conference that we have organized, keeping the same theme. Dr. Bhattacharya, he has made all attempts to organize this conference, and due to his efforts that we have been able to manage everything. It can be argued that the defining feature of Indian culture is its plurality, friends. We say that nanatve ekatvam bharatasya vaisishtyam. The identity of India is diversity. So not only because India is multicultural space, but also because the major cultural group in that space, that is the Sanatan, that is Hindu faith, is by definition a multi-deity, multi-ritual, multi-belief way of life, leading to a unique kind of multiple identity. The epistemological as well as ontological terms, we say that ekam sad vipraha bahudha vadanti. Ekam sad vipraha bahudha vadanti. That is, and even Swami Vivekananda proclaimed the very well-known slok from Mahimna, Shiva Mahimna, that is Ruchinam Vaichitriyat Ruju Kutila Nana Pathajusham Nunam Eko Gamyastvamasi Payasam Arnava Iva. That is, we worship all different deities, but ultimately that worship, that it goes to one God only. So the socio-cultural dimensions, we can see this diversity, and this is the identity of our nation. The socio-cultural dimensions of English studies in India therefore demands discussion of complex issues that are essentially multidisciplinary in academic orientations, as ESI spans various disciplines such as psychology, psycholinguistics, sociology, sociolinguistics, cultural studies, literary studies, and pedagogy, and other increasingly pluralistic terms of ESI's functions, its practices, and its impact. One other dimension may be to examine the fundamental issue, the concept of self and the other, in socio-cultural context, where the individual may be endowed with multiple selves. See, in India we find people speaking so many languages. We are multilingual. In that way, we have different selves. You know, a person speaking Gujarati has one self. The same person speaking English might be a different self. The multilingual Indian mind occupies a multicultural space. What it takes for such a mind to encounter one more language, that is English. We need to examine the long and complex historical process of the evolution of national psyche in India that harbors several selves and constantly interacts with the other within its own ambit. Even if we don't confine ourselves to English studies in India only, we need to think a lot on this subject. And now we are not just a colonial country, we are not ruled by Great Britain. We are having our own variety of English, and the English, even within India, there are so many Englishes, if we want to say so. So let us think, let us get together and think on this subject, and I wish all the participants, all the delegates, to have a feast of knowledge. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now take this opportunity to invite Ms. Manasi Saraswat ma'am, the Joint CEO of SCOPE, to enlighten us with her speech on the occasion.
Good morning, everyone. It is a great honor for me to talk with all of you at the International Conference on Socio-Cultural Dimensions of English Studies and share the podium with some of the finest mentors in education today. I am delighted to have the opportunity to address such a talented gathering of hard-working individuals here at the H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research. My views on today's topic are quite similar to most people present here, like how we are now living in a global era. Globalization has an influence on every element of life. World has shrunk as a result of globalization. Meeting individuals from all around the world is much easier today. Practically, people in every corner of the world now speak English. Although English is not an official language, it is the most likely to be taught to children and learnt by adults for a number of reasons. In more than 100 countries, English is the most extensively taught foreign language. The Common Indian Framework of Reference for Languages will be an excellent opportunity for India to take forward its legacy of languages. We will have our own parameters of English and will not have to depend on other international standards. Scope, Society for Creation of Opportunities through Proficiency in English, is in full support of it and will spread it extensively wherever possible. In today's times, when world-renowned summits like G20 are led under India's presidency this year, English is the only common language of communication with different delegates from across the globe. India's G20 presidency conveys a powerful message about the importance of pursuing suitable, holistic, responsible, and inclusive growth for all in the world. All this and more is possible with only effective communication for exchanging ideas, thoughts, opinions, knowledge, etc. in English as it is understood worldwide. To sum up my views, the bottom line is that English language is recognized globally and plays a unique role that is acknowledged in every nation around the world. I am overwhelmed today to be among such accomplished individuals and to be able to present my perspective before you all. Thanks to Vedant Knowledge System and H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research for inviting me here. I convey my good wishes to the whole team of Vedant Knowledge System and H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research, as well as participants of the program, and wish the Confluence a great success. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Dear all, it's indeed an honor and privilege to invite a great literary figure with a rich experience of 4 decades in the field of education and ELT. As the president of this conference, Dr. R.P. Jadeja sir. Sir, I heartily welcome you here to address the gathering.
Good morning, everybody. I think I should start by congratulating the Institute team and the Vedanta team for organizing this academic event at this juncture when India is preparing itself for implementing the national education policy at all levels of education. All the more important, I feel it is an opportune moment for India when I am speaking. There is an Indian origin person who is the Vice President of USA and an Indian origin person who is the Prime Minister of UK. That in a sense shows that English and India has a rich combined future. With the use of English, we have not only reached this level of excellence within India, I think we have found it possible to lead the world in ways more than one. In my opinion, we are now witnessing a new avatar of English studies in India. To put it briefly, I will point out 3 features of its old avatar and then indicate 3 features of this new avatar that I am talking about. The old avatar of English studies was characterized by its role in colonization, not only of India, but all over the world. So English was an instrument of colonization at that time. It was also characterized by its role as an instrument of exploitation, which is part of colonization, but colonization is more political in its nature, exploitation is more economic in its nature, and these two always go together. And there are very few colonizers who might not have exploited the colonies. I am not aware of any, in fact. But the British rule in India camouflaged itself so well that although it was seen as a colonizer, it was not seen as a rule that exploited the wealth of India. Due to research of people in India, in fact, and very few people outside India, we now know that it's a huge wealth, economic, financial wealth that India lost during the period of colonization. And English was seen as an instrument of exploitation in that sense of the term. So an instrument of colonization, an instrument of exploitation, and the third characteristic of the old avatar was its hegemonic impact on deculturation. People have written extensively about this, and our national movement also throws light on this aspect. Therefore, I'll not go into the details of these three characteristics of the old avatar. Let me now move to what I call the new avatar. In contrast, we may now point out the features of the new avatar of English studies in India as characterized by its role in modernization of the society. It is not new in the historical sense. It is new more in the sense of perception. But it is a matter of fact that the most conservative people in India today have also started accepting English, and through English have opened themselves, their minds, to modern developments in science and technology, developments in even cultural, socio-cultural movements, and so on. So its role in modernization, number one. The second characteristic, as I say, of the new avatar of English studies can be seen in its effect on democratization of knowledge. Whether we like it or not, whether it was only in India or everywhere else, needs to be established, but it is a fact that historically, whatever we called knowledge was in the hands of a few in society. And when a language like English becomes available globally to all sections of society, it also serves as an instrument of democratization of knowledge. And finally, I would say the third feature of the new avatar is its resultant impact on the emancipation of socio-politically disadvantaged sections of global population. within India, it is equally true, but at the international level, if we can now use English not for exploitation, but for emancipation, for empowerment, that would be the new feature of this new avatar of English studies. I'm offering these as offhand remarks at the moment, but I invite young researchers to work on these ideas and throw light on many other aspects of English studies like this. Thank you for inviting me today, and I especially thank both the bodies that have worked together, that have come together to organize such an event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom and a very thoughtful presentation. It will be a great pleasure for us to listen to you again and again in future events as well. Thank you once again. Now, moving towards summing up this inaugural function of today's conference, I humbly request Dr. Arjun Dave sir to propose vote of thanks.
विवादे विषादे प्रमादे प्रवासे जले वा नले पर्वते शत्रुमध्ये अरण्ये शरण्ये सदा मां प्रपाहि गतित्वं त्वमेका भवानी. I humbly take the permission to go beyond the protocol. In today's conference, H.M. Patel Institute of English Training and Research and International Alliance of Academicians and Researchers, along with its knowledge partners, have organized this one-day conference on socio-cultural dimensions of English studies in hybrid mode and panel discussion on common Indian framework of reference for languages is one of the major attractions of this event. The conference which we are witnessing today is one of the finest examples of collaboration. Stalwarts of English language and literature fraternity have blessed this event selflessly. On behalf of the entire organizing committee, I take this opportunity to thank each and everyone who have helped us to materialize this meaningful event. We are highly obliged to Engineer Sri Vikhubai Patel and the trustees of Charotar Vidya Mandal, H.M. Patel Institute family for their cooperation, support, preside over the function, and our mentor, Dr. Rajendrasinh Jadeja sir, who has conceptualized today's event. It is he who has sowed the seed and we are reaping the fruits. Thank you, sir. Professor Dr. Kamal Mehta sir, Department of English and Comparative Literary Studies, Saurashtra University, is here to bless us and add value to the event by participating as the panelist. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being us and blessing us. Our keynote speaker and renowned academician, Professor Dr. Paresh Joshi sir, we are thankful to you, sir, for being with us on this occasion. Our guest of honor, Ms. Manasi Saraswat Madam, Joint CEO SCOP. Thank you, Madam, for gracing the event and sharing your wise words with us. I'm thankful to Conference Chair Dr. Mayur Parmar, Principal, H.M. Patel Institute. Thank you for being a wonderful host. I thank my colleague and director of Vedant Knowledge Systems Private Limited, CS Soni, for being with us and for managing all this, for taking all the pain to conceptualize and materialize the event. We are thankful to our plenary speaker, Professor Nicholas Burns. He is adjunct professor at New York University, USA. He must be listening us right now in a virtual mode. Thank you, Professor Nicholas Burns, for sparing your time and delivering the talk. I'm highly indebted and obliged to the renowned academicians serving this conference as a panelist, Professor Dr. Atanu Bhattacharya sir, Professor and Chair, Central University of Gujarat, for being with us, blessing us in form of being the advisor of the event and panelist of this event. We are thankful to you, sir. We are equally thankful to Professor Dr. Sunil Shah sir for being with us today as a panelist and as a advisor. Thank you, Mr. Arindam Banerjee, for taking out time and joining us as a panelist in today's panel discussion. In her absence, special thanks to Dr. Parul bin Popat for giving her kind consent to be part of this panel discussion as the moderator. A big thank you to Dr. Bhaskar Pandya sir and Dr. Anil Varsat sir for being kind to chair the keynote and plenary sessions respectively. The organizing committee showcases deep sense of gratitude towards respected academicians serving as a session chair physically and virtually. Dr. Shailendra Pandey sir, Dr. Mridalini Thakar madam, Dr. Iroz Waja, Dr. Milind Solanki, Dr. Ashish Shukla, Dr. Parul Mishra, Dr. Dilip Bhatt, Dr. Preeti Nayak, Professor J.K. Dodia, Dr. Chirag Aratya. I'm really thankful to all the respected advisors and mentors for their constant guidance. I'm also thankful to editorial and review board members of IAAR Vedant journals and books, Evangelia Vasilakau from Greece, Muttamina madam from Philippines, Enkilaj Lulaj madam from UK, Colonel Adam Barbarij from USA, Dr. Asantha from Sri Lanka, Dr. Mohit Giri Goswami from SP University, Dr. Monas Thakar sir from the present institution, Dr. Karansi Rathore, Dr. Anup Nair sir, and all the editorial board members for putting the efforts to review the conference papers. IAAR Vedant and HM Patel Institute thanks all the participants present here and participating virtually for showcasing the interest in presenting their research paper in this conference. Thanking all the friends who are working from behind the curtain, Dr. Paresh Jotangia, Dr. Rohit Bhattacharya, Pradeep Bhai Mehta, Ketan Bhai, and everyone who have contributed to this event. Thank you so much to everyone for your love, support and blessing. It's all of you who inspire and motivate us to keep going. If I would like to address the participants and the guest. If you have found any inconveniences or if you have found any issue, then I would like to take the responsibility of that. I would be the responsible person, and I would like to share that the all success goes to the team Vedant and team HM Patel Institute for bring you the best. At this juncture, I borrow the notion from T.S. Eliot, in my beginning is my end, and in my end is my beginning. Gatit swam tvameka bhavani. Pranam. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the institute, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to IAAR as well as Vedant Foundation also. And before we move towards the next stage of conference, on behalf of the institute, I would like to thank all of the people who are present over here for the inaugural function. Friends, before we begin the keynote address, let me present a memento to Dr. Shailendra Pandey sir. I would like to request Dr. Arjun Dave sir to present a memento to Shailendra Pandey sir. Shailendra Pandey sir is an associate professor at S.R. Babur Arts College. Now, approaching to the keynote address, I would like to request Sir Paresh Joshi, Dr. Paresh Joshi sir to come on the stage, and the chairperson of the keynote address, Dr. Bhaskar Pandya sir. I request Dr. Shamal Mewada sir to introduce the guests.
Respected chairperson of keynote address and expert of keynote address. The chairperson of today's session is Dr. Bhaskar Pandya. Sir is Dean, Faculty of Humanities at Saraswat University. Sir has a vast experience of teaching in the field of English language and communication skills. Sir is interested in English language teaching, teaching literature, teaching communication skills and corporate English. Sir has published a number of books and number of research papers in national and international journals, as well as presented papers in conferences. On the behalf of HM Patel Institute and Vedant Education, I welcome you, sir. The expert for today's keynote address is Dr. Paresh Joshi. Sir is professor in the Department of English at Veer Narmad South Gujarat University. Sir has 19 years of teaching experience. Sir is interested in literature, English language teaching, folk literature, and number of other subjects. Sir has 7 students has completed their PhD under the guidance of Sir, and 4 students are pursuing presently their research degrees under the guidance of Sir. Sir has presented number of papers in national and international conferences and published many remarkable works in journals as well. So on behalf of H.M. Patel Institute and Vedant Education, I welcome you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now I hand over the session to sir.